Welcome to the She Births Show, a place to inspire your birth, evolve your parenting, and help you live a life you love. I'm Nadine Richardson, your host and creator of the scientifically verified birth education program, She Births. I'm also a mother, yoga teacher, doula, author, and speaker. At She Births, we have supported thousands of families around the world for over 13 years with our unique program, and our vision is to make birth better for every family around the world so that everyone experiences a beautiful birth no matter what unfolds. Not only do we help people have beautiful births, but we also give them the skills and the philosophy to enjoy pregnancy and make parenting easier. As well as our world-class birth ed, taken either face-to-face or online in our app, we also have a free pregnancy guide designed to help you feel calm, connected, and inspired as you and your baby grow. We have a doula matching service, the perfect way to ensure you and your partner are completely supported throughout the whole journey. And we have our Soul Mama Circles, which are the perfect postpartum network to help optimize your mindset and design your life in parenthood. Remember, if you like what you hear today, subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. If you're a parent, about to be one, fellow health professional, join us now for an inspirational deep dive into topics with experts around the globe. We hope you enjoy this special episode. Welcome to our bonus episode where you can ask us anything. There are so many questions that arise when you're pregnant, approaching birth, and amongst all that excitement, it's normal to sometimes get overwhelmed and nervous. It's kind of like you're trying to do a PhD in a few months' time about birth. So that's why we've created our Ask Us Anything events on Instagram and share them now on the podcast, because they are so beautiful to be able to go alongside the She Births course so that we can dive deeper into some of those really important conversations. And today we've got some great ones. You're going to hear my conversation with She Births educator Danielle Syme. Danielle is a qualified midwife with over 30 years of experience. She works as a team leader of a busy midwifery group practice in Orange. She is a mother of 3, also an Ironman, loves swimming, walking her dog, and being in nature. Danielle is extremely passionate about woman-centered care, like us, and she makes sure that her mums get what they want. She's also very passionate about spontaneous labour. She loves witnessing the transformation that She Births couples go through after attending her weekend courses. And she also then gets to see firsthand how important quality birth education is for an empowering birth experience. Today, we answer your questions and talk about the differences that she sees when women are educated and how they labour, how to and what it means to refuse a medical induction, preventing tearing and perineal damage, movement and diet during pregnancy, the best stories to listen to in the lead up to your birth, and one question came in, which took me a little bit by surprise. A provider said that the cascade of intervention is BS. We talk about that one too. I really hope that you enjoy and that we see you at a She Births course soon, either with Danielle in Orange or any of our other locations, or of course the online course is always there too. Lovely to see you, Danielle. How are you?
Yeah, you too. I'm well, thank you. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a beautiful, like the weather's changing. It's divine. I'm just waiting for a few more people to jump in. But it's great to see so many people. I've actually, I'll say it at the start and I'll say it at the end as well. I've just shared a whole bunch of links in our Instagram stories for people to connect with around the topics that we're talking about tonight. And, we're super lucky to have Danielle Syme on our team because she is a midwife with 30 years experience, which is huge. Hi, Mars. And, we're just so lucky to have you as an educator, and lots of Sydney people have gone to Orange to do long weekends with you and loved it. People from New York have even gone to Orange to do long weekends with you. Yay. Hi, Stace.
Yeah. I have actually had a big variety of couples, which is awesome. I love to meet new people.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, everybody that's birthing right now, we were just talking, you know, about how incredibly busy hospital systems are and how understaffed, you know, which keeps bringing it back to the couple. Like, how comfortable are you? How much agency do you have to be able to manage labour? And I suppose that we could jump into, like, well, why did you become a she births educator? Like, what did you see in the differences between standard couples and people who'd done the course?
Well, I really think the thing that really stood out for me is after the couples have done the course, just their growth as a couple and how they sort of connect and then come out with some ideas, and then they stuff, you know, often the husbands or partners haven't really thought things through, or even women when they're pregnant are busy and haven't put themselves in that space to actually think about how they want their birth to go. And it's just so great to see how they come together as a team, and it really just draws them together, and
skills them up. And
I love it
together.
I love it. Yeah,
I know, and you're so passionate. You know, it's not an easy thing. I think 30 years working inside the system to still have that passion that you and that drive to make sure that women get the birth that they want. You know,
and that's true. It's that whole, you know, and it paired so well with when I was working. So I've only recently become acting manager at Orange Base Hospital, or Orange Health Service. And I've had 9 years working in the continuity of care model, and the She Birth course just pairs really nicely with that whole concept of working with the woman and working in that whole partnership. And the course will teach the couple to, you know, if there's anything that they're not, you know, they want to question, or it just gives them the skills to navigate the system, I guess. If that makes sense.
I think people only know how to navigate a system when they are educated, and that actually was literally one of the questions that we had tonight was, how do I navigate medical systems, and, you know, how do I deal with hospital policies? So one person put in, can I refuse things like an induction or an episiotomy? So let's just do a tag team. Like, what would you say to that person?
Oh, absolutely. Like, if that's something that you've thought about, you know, I would definitely think that that's where the education comes in, because it gives you the ability to look at what information is out there and make that informed choice. And if you have all of that information and you've looked at it all, and you know that, like, the course, we can help guide you in the right direction and give you that, you know, the course is obviously taught a certain way, but, you know, with the experience that I have, I can definitely add those sort of touches as well about my personal experience of working with couples, you know, in the birth space. So it really helps if you can look at the information and make your own choices, because you can't make an informed choice when you're in the throes of labour. You need to have done that education, that looking at that discussion with whoever your caregiver is. If you have those questions, then you need to be sort of discussing that as you go along, if that makes sense.
It's so true. And it's because birth is not portrayed appropriately or correctly. It's really misinformation in media.
we don't realize that when we're actually in labor, we're in an altered state of consciousness.
Absolutely.
And if
Absolutely.
you can't be your working self, you know, that you are in the office and
you really
fight the
don't.
fight in the board meeting. Like, it's not the same you. It's an altered state with your frontal lobe shutting down in order to let the mammalian brain birth our babies, right? So it's such a good point. Get the education, have the conversations before. But you don't have to, like you said, policies are actually just guidelines.
They
and
are.
every woman, really needs to choose for herself.
And you've always, the thing about your birth is this is something that you might have one or two babies, or you may only ever go down that journey once, and that's it. You know, that's such a special time in your life. You want to really, make those choices wisely, and be able to make those choices. It might seem, until you sort of, often what happens I've seen this with couples is the first time they're quite blind as to what they really know about birth. And then once if they do have an experience that's not optimal or not, and then afterwards they'll reflect and think, oh, maybe I should have done a little bit more thinking about this. It's often that prompts more education. So I think it's really important to sort of prepare yourself in some way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
And now for a quick break. At She Births, we believe that pregnancy, birth, and matrescence, the sacred postpartum, is an awesome rite of passage. Our free holistic pregnancy guide offers you 6 months of weekly support. Drop straight into your inbox, or within our free She Births app, you can get content that will nourish your body, mind, and soul. You can enjoy prenatal yoga videos, great recipes, birth affirmations, course discounts, and more. From me and my team, the creator of the world's only scientifically verified antenatal classes, it is our gift to you. Sign up today and receive the free holistic pregnancy guide at shebirths.com/PG. That's shebirths.com/PG.
Amy Hoff, I don't know if you can see the comments. She says, the She Births course taught me to question the advice of the doctors. I refused an induction against their advice after my waters had broken and ended up having the water birth I wanted. Yay for you, Amy. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So happy.
That's a great example of where you can make a choice. Yeah.
And someone else must be doing She Births too. Simone Ellen, 89. Huge fan, 36 weeks. Woo, not long to go. And Stacey, I just want to also introduce the wonderful Stacey is actually on the chat too, Yaroslav, and she works with you on the Empowering Births Orange website.
Hi, Stacey. Glad she told me she was gonna check us out tonight.
You guys do such a good job, and it's not easy in regional. You don't have access to. You've got the one doula in town, and lucky she's awesome.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people in town, but
good.
No, it's definitely a we're trying to get it out there. So it's good.
You guys are doing good. Okay, can I refuse? Look, someone asked as well. Can I refuse an episiotomy? Let's give them a quick, what would you say to that?
I mean, you can definitely have that as a preference in your, like, it's good. What I always advise couples to do is to have the conversations around some of the things that they want to do or want to try and achieve in their birth, or not, like avoid at around 36 weeks. So it's really good to like write down some of the things that would be your preference. Obviously, an episiotomy, it's not something that is done routinely, that's for sure. And it would be often in an emergency situation, or if It's often when it's an assisted birth, like a ventouse or forceps, where it might be necessary, or if we're trying to protect your perineum from a really bad tear. But it's not something that midwives would definitely do routinely. And what I would say to you is there's a lot of things you can do in the antenatal period to try and prevent bad tearing or the need for an episiotomy, like having warm, having a perineal assessment done with a physio to check your pelvic floor, because it's your ability to be. We talk a lot about the pelvic floor being able to tighten it, but we really, when we're pushing and when we're trying to bring our baby into the world, it's the relaxing of the pelvic floor that's so important when you're pushing, being able to actually relax it so that it's not too taut. And the use of warm compresses has been shown to reduce bad tears by 50%. So that can even be replicated in using the use of water during birth has so many great things, that can assist your birth. So that's a big topic, but
it's huge. No, I think you touched on it beautifully, and we have that one slide that we teach in G-births, like the 5 Ps for preventing perineal tearing. So there's lots of other things as well. So writing it in your preferences, absolutely, you can refuse, you can preference not, but preparation for preventing is probably your most powerful place to go.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And if you've got a good relationship with your caregiver, or when you're in that space, it's about you being consenting to things. Like something like that should never be done without your consent. So that's really important, in the birthing space, that your partner's there as your protector, or you've got your doula, or your birth in your base is so that's your protector's space. So the people around you, it's really good to have them all prepped up about, with what you want, and then they can be your protector. Protectors.
Exactly. Communicators and protectors and advocates. Right. Exactly. Someone says they've got a silly question: how best to sit on the floor to pat the dog during yoga, gym classes? I'm not meant to cross my legs anymore. Oh, she means like one across the other, like you're sitting under a desk, I think. And how best to squat, how to pull weeds out of the garden in 3rd trimester. I can still get myself up and down off the floor, but it's more of a case I'm not meant to be doing this stuff. So any tips on safe positions and to sit and squat? Okay, so the safe squatting, you can get the Holistic Pregnancy Guide from the She Births website, and I've got a whole video on how to squat safely. When I first read this, I thought, maybe you've got symphysis pubic bone issues, like a slight subluxation, but I think you're talking differently, like not crossing the legs, keeping the pelvis aligned. And I would highly recommend, when you are getting out of bed and out of your car, say, that you make sure that you turn the whole body, put both feet on the ground, brace your tummy, and then lift up. So that sitting with crossed legs isn't so bad. It's more the standing and putting asymmetrical pressure on one leg that really twists the pelvis. So I think that's what she means. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
I think sitting cross-legged, as long as you don't have any pubic pain, then it should be okay. It's more the sort of asymmetrical standing in yoga or getting out of the car. I think that's what, and that just helps to keep the pelvis more aligned. But watch my safe squatting video. The other one, can I do pregnancy yoga in the 1st trimester? Yeah, let's talk about exercise in 1st trimester, Dan. What you go for it.
So when you're doing anything in the first trimester, I always say with any exercise, if it's something that you've been doing in your life, then it's safe to do it in the 1st trimester. I wouldn't advocate starting something completely new if you're not used to it. You've got to be really careful, but look, I would say definitely go to someone that knows what they're doing. If you're starting to do yoga or Pilates, or like, make sure it's something that's someone who
with a specialist.
Like they're doing it for pregnancy. And we've got lots of videos and things on our app and the website and everything that you can follow. So it's definitely, I always say to couples that I look after, like, don't overheat, but anything you've been doing before, you can definitely do it. If you're feeling like you're up to it and you can do it, then do it.
Yeah.
But if it's new, then don't start jogging when you've never jogged before, or like, it's just, that doesn't make sense. But
no, that's right. Yeah. Exactly. And I think you just sort of find your gauge with maintaining what you've been doing, but also just checking in, like, what's my energy levels like after that?
Right.
Like, you come home after your little swim or your yoga or whatever, or your jog, and you need to sleep for 4 hours in the middle of the day. Like, you know, you remember you're still growing a baby. That takes quite a bit of energy too.
And it does. You're quite, like, anybody who remembers being pregnant, it's very energy sapping in the first trimester. You're very tired. There's a lot of cells. You're actually growing a baby. The cells are multiplying and making a human. So that takes a lot of energy, makes you tired. And not to mention the morning sickness, which a lot of people get. And so you haven't even got a lot of energy or will or desire. And for most people that passes, and you can then resume what you're used to. But it's really normal to be extremely tired and not be able to do your normal exercise routine.
Totally.
And now for a quick break. Contrary to popular culture, She Births believes that childbirth can be the best day of your life. It is designed perfectly to be empowering, enriching, and bonding. An awesome rite of passage. Our childbirth education programs have helped thousands of families around the world since 2008, allowing families to not only feel empowered through education, but also connect with their innate birthing wisdom to create the best birth possible and begin their parenting journey with confidence. She Birth's unique methodology was scrutinised in university trials and has been published in the British Medical Journal for improving birth outcomes for both mother and child. I'd like to invite you to begin preparing for birth today. Just go to shebirths.com to discover our 2-day weekend face-to-face courses or access the online courses from anywhere around the world. That's shebirths.com. Create your beautiful birth with the world's only scientifically verified antenatal classes.
Someone's saying, I'm obsessed with listening to other people's birth stories. Do you encourage this? When should I start tuning out? I'm heading into 3rd trimester now. Okay, what would you say, Dan?
I would say, especially like what we're teaching in the course, is focus on those stories that inspire you, the ones that make you feel good about birth. Because we all know that, I don't know, for some reason, people always want to tell the negative stories about birth. And that can just, if you're going to get scared or frightened from stuff that you're watching, then that's not optimal, because to have an optimal birth, well, we know that you need not to be frightened, because oxytocin is the major hormone, and that is released when you're in a safe space and you feel relaxed and you're not scared. Because if you're scared, you're going to release adrenaline, cortisol, and those hormones actually counteract the oxytocin. Yeah. So you want to be focusing on those stories and those like podcasts, or things that are really positive and inspiring to you. That's what I would say to that. Yeah,
totally. I agree with that. I would add on to that, what we have on like the She Births podcast, and also then the private videos and stories that are inside the course, the online course and the weekend course. I think they're not perfect stories. A lot of them, are fantastic stories, but they're not perfect. But what they are expressing in the sharing is education for you in how to navigate the little bumps in the road and resolve trauma. So resolve trauma is very important. It means that when you hear something, someone's had the knowledge and the skills and the loving care around them to help process that. Whereas a lot of people's birth stories are being shared as a debrief in public or on perhaps some other podcast channels, I don't know. So I think that's a really important thing, that they are tailored and they're bespoke. They've been chosen specifically, like you say, to be inspiring. And actually someone just said, can't think of any questions right now, but I absolutely love the She Births podcast. I've listened to all the episodes. Keep checking for new ones. Well, there's a new one coming out this week in this Raising the Feminine, Rise of Feminine. I keep forgetting what I've called it. Hilarious. The Rise of the Feminine. It's with Ella Noah Bancroft, and she's an Indigenous activist up here, and her partner is a birth worker. And we have an amazing conversation about sovereignty, about agency, about decolonising our minds, coming away from fear. Anyway, this lady says her favourite one is about the two New Zealand mummies, the Lauren and the Laurens, and beautiful stories, also Deborah Simmond O'Neill's episode. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Okay, this one is especially for you. This is from Whitney. And she says, my private obstetrician said that the cascade of intervention is complete BS. How to navigate this conversation? Go, Dan.
That's a tough one. But we do know that there is a lot of evidence around the cascade of intervention. You only need to have a look at some of the work done by Rachel Reed and Sarah Buckley is a great one. She's done a lot of work around oxytocin and how the interruption to that with the induction of labour actually alters things incredibly. And that, together with epidural on board, actually really creates a lot of hormonal gaps for the mother and baby. And so, I mean, it's not all terrible. Obviously, some people do need inductions of labour, and I'm not saying not to have an epidural, but to just keep that in mind, that will alter things. Anything that is not your body putting you into labour is an intervention. And why would we be monitoring you continuously on a machine? Is because there are risks. It's not it's not the same as having a natural spontaneous labour where your body's ready. Induction of labour does make a lot of it's an intervention from the word go, and that does affect things. Definitely. Yeah. So there's a lot in that. I mean, I could talk for hours about that, but the experts on it. Yeah, if you want more information about that stuff, you should check out
Sarah
Buckley's work and
Dr. Rachel
Wickham.
And Dr. Sarah Wickham. And I actually just shared in the Instagram now just like 3 stories from Rachel and 3 little stories from Sarah Wickham. And I think every woman should follow those women, because it is really important to stay across the evidence and to see what's going on. And Sarah Buckley, Sarah Wickham and Rachel Reed, those 3 women, I suppose, are everybody in the midwifery doula world. They are go-tos. They're experts. I know there's fear-based birth, but I often find that they don't come out with real kind of conclusions. It's very broad analysis, whereas Rachel and Sarah give you kind of, because they're actual, in the birthing rooms, they're giving you strategies as well. Yeah. So it's much more helpful. So I really support those women and what they're doing. So I'm grateful for them. So, go there and have a look. Cascade of Intervention is not BS. It's well researched and it's in Cochrane and it's been spoken about for 50-something years. Stacey says, the She Births diet in last trimester, can you explain eliminating gluten and the benefits of that? Yeah, I can explain that. We basically try and minimize wheat, and then we make it optional for women if they want to take out the gluten as well. Gluten has no nutritional benefit to us at all. And for a lot of people, it can cause inflammation, but there's different degrees of that, right, for every person. But what we do know is primarily the wheat we're trying to minimise. The majority of that, especially in Australia, has been sprayed heavily with glyphosate by Monsanto, and it has been, in a sense, become toxic. So it's really important that we keep the glyphosate out of our bodies and our babies, because that's building up. And I mean, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, has just come out and said that all rainwater in the world is completely over the levels of safety as well. It's all toxic, and that comes from mega agriculture and all these kinds of things. So we're just really trying to eliminate inflammation in the digestive tract and in the joints of the body. And so wheat and sugar, and then it is optional in that last little bit to take out the gluten. And when the digestive tract works really well, a whole lot of neural firing also seems to happen. It's considered the first brain, and it seems to help things also function just a little bit better as well for birth. It's not the only thing that helps birth function well. It's just a suggestion. And it does also mean that when you lean away from the wheat, gluten and sugar, you start to move into more nutrient-dense foods that are better for us as well. Yeah. It's nothing's like a protocol in She Births. It's just information and suggestions, because, you know, we're all different and there's not one diet for every person. So Cameron is asking, what is the best sleeping position? Go for it. Maybe he's asking for his partner.
Yeah, so for safe sleeping, there's definitely a topic that is worthy of discussion. From about 28 weeks, it's really important when you're going off to sleep on your side, not on your back, because of the major vessels that run behind your uterus. If you've got a very heavy gravid uterus, like pressing down on that vena cava, that can minimise the blood flow to the baby, to the uterus, to the placenta, and the baby can be compromised. So that, along with monitoring movements that are normal for you, they're the two key things that are really important in keeping the baby safe. That from 28 weeks, we recommend that you sleep on the side. If you wake up in the night and you're on your back, then you just turn over and go back on your side, and that's okay. That is the best sleeping position. Obviously, anyone that's been heavily pregnant, I always had a nest of pillows around me, because
that's why there's a partner asking.
Very uncomfortable. Yeah.
We put a video up of that the other day of this couple elbowing each other and ended up in a stick fight in the middle of their sleep. It was very funny.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. Well, that's all our questions for tonight.
I'm Nadine Richardson, and you've been listening to the She Births Show. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. We'd love to know what you would like to hear more of. You can find me and my team of amazing doulas and educators at shebirths.com, and our awesome community on Instagram and Facebook. Within any good app store, you can download our free pregnancy guide via She Births, 2 separate words and plural, as well as access our range of online courses. Remember, when it comes to having a better birth, an easier transition into parenthood, your education is your empowerment. Don't forget to check out the catalogue of previous podcasts, and thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show.